What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the All Sports Best podcast. Today we have a special guest on, and Coach Millar of the track and field teams, both girls and boys.
Yes, sir.
So you got a lot on your hands.
A lot, man. A lot of kids.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Dude, yeah.
This is show number 2 for you.
Show number 2. I was assistant last time, a little understudy, and now I'm the top dog.
You're the top
it's
dog,
cool.
Absolutely. And today we're in a really cool facility here at the high school, the field house, brand new. This is going to be year 1 that you guys use it. It's already being in use.
Yeah, we're in use now. It's like month 1. We officially moved in right around spring break.
Okay.
So basically the month of April we were in here, and then after that, I don't know. Summer will be cool. I'm excited.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by CNB Bank. Big dreams start with smart banking, and that's where CNB Bank comes in. From saving for your future to making everyday life easier, they're your financial partner in Carlsbad. Drop in, call, or check them out online. CNB Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Coach Millar, let's just start off with your background. You have a track and field background. You played at a level most people don't get to. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So grew up in New York, and then track was not on the radar, dude. It was baseball, and ended up getting cut my sophomore year. Just like most kids, coach hated me, right? So went back out junior year and got cut again, and so I obviously wasn't that good. But started doing track and wasn't even going to do it in school. Wasn't thinking about it. I was going to end in high school. My senior year, I got pretty competitive, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I went to a track meet. I was already into college, and I went to a track meet, and the head track coach was there, and I got talking to him, and he was like, "Hey, man, if you want to try it out, like D3 is a little bit different with the walk-on process. It's not an official offer, things like that." But I was already in school, so I showed up to practice and ended up getting really good. So for 3 years in college, I competed, and my junior year went all conference. So that was pretty fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Wait, so help me clarify this, at least for my thinking. You went to college, you basically started classes, and then things started to unravel? Or
So New York has a state qualifying track meet, meaning if you get top 2 at this specific track meet, you get to go to the state track meet. So many kids, so they just kind of whittle it down, almost like Texas. And I was at that track meet with an actual Olympian, Rudy Winkler, which was pretty cool. He was a sophomore, I was a senior. He threw the discus like 200 feet. It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. But the head track coach for SUNY Cortland was there at that meet, scouting, recruiting, just kind of showing face. My high school pole vault coach, I didn't pole vault, but the coach for the team, he went to Cortland. He was a national champion there. And he's like, "Hey, you're going to Cortland. Here's the coach. Why don't you guys connect?" So this was in May of my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And then in August of my freshman year of college, I was starting track at the collegiate level.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Okay. So it was like end of if the buzzer's going to ring, it's in the final
Absolutely,
seconds.
Yeah. It went from not being an option to let's do this. I'm all in. It was pretty quick.
Cool.
It was fun. I had a blast.
Wait, so in high school you guys had individual specialty coaches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do too.
Do you have it here too?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you name your staff, or is that going to be a lot?
No, I can't.
I
got to do the fingers.
There you go.
We got Coach Terrence Orgain, who's actually competing now in the Special Olympics, which is awesome. He helps with warm-ups and getting kids organized and things like that at the meets. He's awesome with getting times during the meets. We got Coach Deanda. She helps with the sprinters, especially on the girls' side. Coach AC, he's our overall sprints coach, but he kind of focuses more on the boys' side. Coach Dominguez is our jumps coach, triple and long. Coach Branch does high jump and hurdles. We've got Coach Nealand, who works shot put. He's got the reigning state champion in the shot put on the girls' side, which is pretty cool. Coach Norman is our discus coach. I'm our javelin coach. Coach Dottie is my assistant. He kind of does it all. He focuses a little bit more on the girls' side. Coach Kennedy, she's not John's anymore. I'm going to screw that up. But she's our pole vault coach, our school record holder, which is cool. She's our pole vault coach.
That's awesome.
And I think that's it. Did I get 10?
I think you did. I don't know. I think we lost the fingers.
The fingers went away, so if I forgot somebody. Coach Sims, duh. Coach Sims, our distance coach. Golly. Oh, my gosh. Okay, there we go.
Perfect. So if you're watching this and you are one of those coaches, Coach knows about you. You're on his radar for sure.
Absolutely.
But that's really cool because, sometimes you talk to coaches and they kind of just say, oh, this person and this person, but you have like a good relationship with your staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is different than football, baseball, any other team sport at a track meet, I don't know how many you've ever been to, but it's not like football game. You show up and the football team plays, so the football team stays together and the head coach is there.
Yeah.
I mean, when we go to a track meet, the javelin's going at the same time as the long jump, at the same time as the 4x8, at the same time as the pole vault, at the same time as the shot put. So you need to have individual coaches that can actually be there, and coaching them up, because the head coach can't be everywhere at once.
Right. No, 100%. Okay, so tell me this, because I know that there are a lot of athletes that maybe they had like you said, you were into baseball, and then maybe it doesn't work out, or maybe it's over, and you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs thinking, what do I do? Like, do I game? Do I just hang out with my friends? What kind of athlete is right for track and field?
So track, I think, is the catch-all, right? Everyone, I think a lot of people in their high school experiences ran track, or middle school experiences competed in track. I think kids get frustrated with it because what do mom and dad or baseball coach say? Hey, you didn't make the team, but go run track. Go have fun. I mean, we tell the football kids that too. And then they get out there, and it's like, holy cow, there's some really athletic kids out here. There's some kids doing some really great stuff. And so my answer is that anybody can come out and run. I mean, we've had some kids that started as 8th graders and have consistently gotten better, and now senior years here, and they're having an absolute blast, kicking butt. I think track is a sport that everyone just, like I said, kind of looks not down upon. They love it during the Olympics. Yeah. They probably don't understand it if they've never done it. So it's just one of those, go run. But when you get to the top tier, I mean, we have a kid in La Cueva. He long jumped 24 feet 10 inches, which puts him 4th in the nation.
Wow.
And so it's like, you get one against a kid like that, you don't get that type of talent in other sports, and I don't think kids really gauge that. But my favorite part about track, though, is you can compete against yourselves. Every week you get to compete against yourself. So you might not be the 4th in the nation long jumper, but if you got better this week, you're excited. Because and no other sport gives you that.
Sure.
No other sport does.
Yeah. Okay. And that's like just constant tracking of your progress.
Absolutely.
So that's really
right.
cool.
You can consistently compare how you did this week to how you did last week, and so on.
What are some of the technologies that you guys are using now that help you to monitor? I mean, obviously you can see, hey, these are my times, but you're looking at heart rate and calories and all that stuff nowadays in every aspect. Do you guys have anything like that, or is it individual?
Distance uses Strava, I think is the app. So they log every mile, they log every workout. So they have their own personalized accounts on that.
Very cool.
Sprints is a little tougher. It's a much bigger group. We have about 65 sprinters out between the boys and the girls. We've been getting into using laser timing during practice, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. And we did flying 10s the other day. So we were able to take all the kids' times. There's a formula you put into an Excel spreadsheet, and then it produces a miles per hour. So for me, I thought that was great. The kids loved it. You could actually see, holy cow, I run 18 miles an hour.
Yeah, which faster than a school zone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually super cool.
They get pulled over, right? It's really neat. So we're trending towards that. Track and football, we're trying to kind of commingle and make that stuff work together. But ultimately, it's a lot of just old school, go run out and do it. Coach is standing there. I mean, every track meet, a coach is standing there with a watch and getting it. At the actual track meets, we do use FAT, fully automatic timing. So that is laser like you would see on the Olympics and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so after, we're talking about technology and what you guys use, there's a lot that goes into it. As an athlete right now, if they're listening, how can they get faster? What is your...
It's really easy.
Okay.
Sprint.
Really?
You have to. I think, I mean, I know you didn't run track in high school, so I did. It doesn't look like I did, but I did, I promise. But even when I graduated high school in 2011, it was the idea of, okay, we're going to run, 12 200s today on Monday, and then Tuesday we're going to run 10 100s, then on Wednesday we're going to run, 5 400s, because that's going to make them tougher. So then Friday they're going to be ready to roll, and everybody would be tired on Friday. I mean, and you have those superior athletes that can just kind of figure it out, and we have a couple here. We're fortunate there. But we've kind of changed the idea of just, if you can't do something on game day that you haven't practiced.
Right.
So if you never sprint, or if you're having kids run for more like a cardio exercise of 12 200s, that's a distance workout. It's a good workout. You could use it for stuff, but not for a sprinter. Right. So what we've been really doing, and some of the kids have a tough time buying in still. Our workout the other day was 3 flying 10s. They got in blocks. They ran 40 yards, as fast as they possibly could. We got them on the lasers. They did it 3 times. They were done. And our idea is just get out there and sprint. And I think the proof's in the pudding because last night, every single girl ran a PR in the open 100.
That is incredible.
And we had 4 boys run PRs in the open 100. So
wow.
I think what we're doing is working,
Yeah.
you know, and just
Yeah.
keeping them fresh and just sprint, do it quickly, do it with purpose, and then go home and rest.
Yeah. Should we omit this from the podcast so other teams don't know
Heck
what you
no.
guys are doing?
Heck no.
Okay, so yeah, because the other day I had seen that about sprints on the internet, so I was like, and it's also to help you get into really good shape, like strength wise, tone wise.
Yeah, sprinting's great for you.
So I came out here with a buddy and we stretched it, all that stuff. He blew his hamstring.
Nice.
And I was sore till this day. This was a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about it is like that things that I didn't realize when you're in high school, college, you don't feel it.
No,
you
not
just
at all.
do it. It's
Yeah.
just you're sore, you're tired. But my shoulder blades were super sore, like my upper body. I didn't realize that was really what it went into it. But it's a full body, real
It's
exercise.
full body, yeah. And as we're getting up there in age, man, like if you don't use it, you lose it type deal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we took it for granted for sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I haven't gone out and sprinted because I'm
It's scary.
terrified what's going to happen.
It's scary,
If
yeah.
you're hurting, dude, they might have to come scrape me off the track, dude. I don't know if I'll get up.
Well, and like you said, I mean, I like distance stuff. Not like crazy distance, but 3 to 6 miles
Absolutely,
maybe.
yeah.
And totally different animal. It's not
100%.
close.
But I think also 3-6 miles or whatever your distance might be, you can put headphones in, go at your own pace, right? Sprint, you're like, okay, well, when's the last time I did this? 12 years ago. Okay, so just
Yeah.
go as fast as my body can go.
Right.
And it's not something that you can just turn on and off. So if we
No.
can work it each week, even in little doses, we're still continuing to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Tell me about strength and endurance. Tell me what the priorities are. Is it strength and endurance or technique? A little bit of both. Like, what's the
It all
balance?
goes hand in hand. I've had to change my philosophy on it. I sprinted in high school, but I wasn't very good. I was a thrower. So I'm learning, and I have to listen to other people that are better than me at it, you know, on how to coach it. I think distance is its own beast, and that's your strength and endurance. I think that's when, you know, you're pushing kids to run an 800 in a certain amount of time at practice each week, and they've got to get their certain miles every week. For sprinting, we've kind of changed, at least for me, I've changed my philosophy of, we used to say, okay, you know, 400 workouts. If we, kind of like what I was saying earlier, if you can do this distance in this amount of time, then you should be able to run this type of 400. But the 400 is a sprint. You know, the world record right now is 43 and change, maybe even a little faster. So if you think about that, that's 4 11-second 100s consecutively, right? That's a sprint.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of determined, well, you can't run a 50-second 400 if you can't run a 25-second 200. So we've just kind of turned our focus to 100s and 200s and just kind of saying, so that's more technique. And we kind of say, hey, you're going to be tired at the end of the 400. Your lactic acid's going to be through the roof. It's going to suck. Hang on for the ride and hope for the best. And that's all we can kind of do. You know, again, I've had to change my philosophy. Again, it used to be run this distance at this time, and, you know, if you hit this pace, you'll be good. So now we just kind of say, all out, go for it, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
We've been all right.
Speak to what lactic acid does to you.
Oh, it hurts. That's when you get sore. That's
Okay.
what all that is. Yeah. So
Okay.
when you're talking about sprinting and being sore.
Yeah.
It could be legs, arms, shoulders. Doesn't matter. When you work out, that's what builds up. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I do know when you get sore, that's what it is. So.
And it's to help recover?
I think
Or
so.
does it do any? It's just bad altogether.
It's not bad,
Okay.
no. I know. So we have lactic workouts, right? And so we gauge our workouts on our length of recovery. Typically, and kind of generally agreed upon, is 7 to 8 minutes is called full recovery. So we base it off of that stuff. So when we do a longer workout, the longest we'll go is 150 meters. So when we do that, we do give the kids full recovery, which should, if they continue to move around, if they continue to control their breathing, it should allow them to get that lactic acid out. It's just basically when you try to run or you try to do something and exert full effort and you can't anymore and you're tired and you feel it, that's what that lactic acid is.
Okay. Very good. Because how many times I heard lactic acid when it came to baseball pitching, arm stuff, all that. I was just like, oh, okay, that's something that's bad. We don't want it. That's all I ever knew.
Visitor, what's
So-
up, Coach Dottie? Nothing.
Anything exciting yet?
No, we have not.
So when it comes, okay, let's go back to it. So when it comes to like gear, everybody's all into their stuff, right? Nike, all the, what are you using? What are you guys pushing for your athletes to use right now, if anything?
We're incredibly fortunate. We get the kids whatever they need. The school district does. And we can show the equipment room later. You saw it this morning. I mean, we have whatever they need. And Nike is the top tier right now with the kids. But you go look at like Noah Lyles, I believe is Adidas. Sha'Carri Richardson, I believe is Puma. So there's not one brand that's better or worse. I think the distance shoes matter more because of so Hoka's and things like that.
Yeah.
Matter because when you run a longer distance, you need a little bit more support. But ultimately, the sprint spikes, man, they're just super light.
Yeah.
And something that they can stick on for 100 meters, 200 meters in rock and roll. So I don't really care, honestly. And again, I don't wear it. So there's nothing
Whatever
I really push the kids
good.
to do. I just encourage them, like, hey, if you need something, we have it. I just feel badly when they go out and buy, $150 pair of spikes when a $60 or $20 pair will work.
Right. Yeah. But that's their preference.
Their preference,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever, if you want to go spend your money, spend your money. But
Yeah, sure. Is there anything that's illegal right now? Because I know that there was like some shoes that you can't wear in the Olympics and stuff because I guess it prompts you forward or pushes you forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. She's got Kronks on. So Nike Pegasus, that little wing on the back of those shoes. The reason that they were designed was to help marathon runners.
Okay.
Because they figured out in a wind tunnel or something that little wing will help shave off time on your distance races.
Okay.
So stuff like that is way illegal. But with sprints, I don't believe there is. I know Nike they came out with the Zoom Flies. So remember the shocks?
Yes.
The Nike shocks that
The
had them in the
best
heel.
ever.
Yeah, best shoes ever. Makes you jump higher, right?
Yes.
So they took those from the heel, and for sprinters, they put them in the toes. So the front of the spike will have that now. Does it do anything? I don't know. But
it's illegal. Oh no, that's not illegal.
That's legal now. Yeah.
Okay.
The stuff that you start to see illegal is actually in the field events.
Okay.
That's when you start to get into some of the rules with what they can and can't wear. Throwers can't wear, wrist supports, things like that. That's where you start to get into those rules. But they've actually became more lax. They used to say everybody on a relay had to wear the exact same thing. So if you and I had the same jersey on, but you had blue shorts and I had black shorts, our relay wouldn't count, which is ludicrous. That makes no sense. So they've gone lax on a lot of that stuff. Jewelry as well. Kids are actually now allowed to wear hats and sunglasses when they run, which I don't love, but they can if they want. So they've actually gone the other way, which I think most sports are going, it's kind of different than other sports.
Yeah.
But nothing really illegal on the track other than some of those Nike distance shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that your athletes are ready to rock for their event, knowing it's an all-day event? Sometimes it's not precise, right? You can't just know.
Yeah, it's rolling schedule,
Yeah.
which is tough. We got to put a lot of trust in the kids, man. And they know that. And again, if you've never been to a track meet and you go to one, you're like, this is the most outrageous, unorganized thing on the planet. We have an announcer at the track meets, and they announce, hey, first call. First call typically means 30 to 45 minutes away from your event. But with the rolling schedule, it's really just a guess. You're just trying to guess, okay, we're on the 100 now. I think in 30 minutes we'll be at the 4x2, but it might be 20. It might be an hour if the gun goes down or camera malfunctions. So we just encourage the kids, get off their feet, stay at camp. Track, we do get a camp. The kids bring tents, canopies, food, snacks. I mean, we have everything. So there's really no need for them to be up and walking around. But we're fortunate enough that the kids that we have at all levels, JV all the way through the varsity, like they take it seriously. They try and they care. And so they know, man, if I'm out walking laps on the track prior to my race, that's not going to be good for me. So why don't I just hang out at camp, play on my phone, listen to music, hang with friends, and then when my race gets called, that's when I can start warming up. And our coaches are really, really good too. We have a great staff, so they'll go and encourage kids. We typically bring a manager, so they'll go and get the 4x1 and say, okay, you four are here, get warmed up, your race is in 25 minutes and stuff like that.
Sure.
So you just got to trust the kids. And again, it goes back to getting measured every single week. So if they know, they walk around and then they run a really slow time, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. And hopefully next week they take a little bit better care of themselves.
So it's a learning experience.
Absolutely. For everybody.
Yeah.
Each week. Yeah.
You mentioned like the gun goes down, things like that. What is the gun in track and field now?
We actually have a gun.
Oh, a real, like a revolver, right? It's like caps
like 32 or something. Yeah, you just fire blanks or shotgun primers.
Okay.
Dude, last night in Lovington, oh my gosh, they have the electric gun because blanks are expensive now. Like we bought a box, dude. It was like $100 for one box of shells. And that got us through the season. But you're thinking, man, that schools can't afford that, especially if they host middle school meets and stuff.
Yeah.
So the electric gun's the thing to do. Last night it wouldn't go through. We started the 4x4 4 times for the girls.
Dang.
Because they would fire it, and then the computer upstairs says, "Oh, we don't have it," so they have to restart.
So the computer's based off of sound?
Yeah. So
okay.
our starter carries a little receiver, little huge long antenna.
Yeah.
Looks like a chapstick tube. And when the gun goes off, that catches it. And that starts the camera, the fully automatic timing. So there's no human interaction with it. It's all done by computer, which then makes it a legal time for the state track meet.
Sure. So you're not worried about human error?
Correct, right? Because you would cheat, and that's what would happen. You know, everybody's fighting for their kids. So a kid would run a time. Oh, I really like this kid. I want him to run at state. I'm going to lie a little bit about his time.
Right.
But now you can't. The camera and the computer doesn't lie.
I love that.
It does go down. There are issues with it, but when
Yeah.
it runs like it's supposed to, it's all legit.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So gear requirements. We talked about it a little bit before, and you gave me a track and field shirt, which I was
looked it
totally
up.
planning to wear right now. Didn't make the switch
all right,
over,
man.
but I'll
It's
get
all
it
right.
out. I'll get it over here in a sec.
Yeah,
but,
just wear it in the softball one.
okay, definitely. I will. But is there gear requirements when you travel, when you have your athletes out in practice, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, practice is just, show up ready to go and work. I mean, we're out there. That's the coolest thing about kind of how we've changed our philosophy. Practice is 45 minutes, give or take.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I just need you for 45 minutes, be in athletic clothes, gear, ready to roll. The trainers do a great job, get us water and whatever else we need. For traveling, though, I want to be in Carlsbad track gear.
Yeah.
We've stopped this year. We stopped to eat lunch for a couple of different track meets because we were traveling pretty far, and I just think it's a great look, and it makes us look like a unit when you get 90 kids coming off the bus all wearing Carlsbad track stuff.
Right.
So that's my thing, and then the cool thing is the throwers and the field event kids can actually, even the sprinters, if they really wanted to, and distance kids can run in that T-shirt. Again, going back to the rules, they've kind of become lax on it. The only rule now is they just have to be able to determine it was issued by the school. So a CHS track and field shirt is issued by the school. Kids can run in it. And then we have, going back to kids buying stuff, we offer a store. So kids can buy their own things too. We provide them sweatshirts, sweatpants, long sleeve jackets, bucket hats, backpacks, T-shirts, spikes, whatever they need.
Yeah.
And then if they want to get more stuff, which a lot of them do, which is cool, they can buy their own hoodies, travel bags, whatever it might be. So.
Okay. Are there any track and field rivalries, or is it just kind of like you versus times?
I think it's you versus times.
Or distance, or when you're throwing. And
I
stuff.
think just our district naturally is competitive. I mean, Hobbs and Clovis, golly. I mean, they're two of the best track teams in the state. And so we got to go against them every week. So I think in that regard, it's just like, yeah, we want to beat them, right? Yeah. Especially this week with district coming up, we want to be better than them. If you get top 2 at district, you get to go to state. So that's a rivalry, if you will. But the track community is really cool. Kids are excited, and they just want to see. And you get to see, that's what's really neat. No other sport do you get to do this. You get to actually hang out with your opponents. And you see them. We see the same teams week to week. So they're seeing a kid from Clovis. They've seen them 10 times now. So they might be, hopefully they're friends, right? But they might not be. And that might be a little rivalry, a little personal rivalry. Man, I got to beat this kid this week.
Yeah.
But we were in Alamo a couple weeks ago, and I just remember we had a girl that she ran the mile, and then Alamo had a girl that ran the mile, and they were just talking afterwards like they were best friends. Hey, how'd you do? And I just thought that was cool.
That is
a sport
cool.
where you can actually hang out with the other team. And like you said, it's just you against you. Dang, I didn't win this time, but I got better, so I'm happy with it.
Sure. I'm more of an old school guy. I want people to be like, I hate that person. No, I'm just kidding.
There is an intimidation factor too.
Yeah.
I mean, Treya Wells is the reigning state champ in the 5A shot put, and she's really good, and so she can get out there and take the shot put and power throw where she just stands there and throws it, and she'll beat 90% of the field.
Really?
And so that's
without
to me
the spin.
Correct. Just standing there with the shot put, 4K, so 8.8 pounds, and she just gets out and throws it. And that's intimidation. I mean, if you're a kid and you sit there and you're like, holy cow, that girl's not even moving and she's already beating me.
Right.
Like, so in that regard, that's kind of like that old school mentality. And I tell them, I mean, there is some mind games to it. It's jumpers and things like that. Sprinting's tough. because you don't get to do it until the actual race. But throwing when you're warming up or jumping when you're running through, and kids are like, oh man, they're here now. I'm going to lose. This stinks. So there is a lot of that in the field events, which
that's
I love.
Cool. No, I love that. I love that insight, and that's impressive that she can do that,
dude. It's ridiculous.
So she's going to the next level.
She should,
more than likely.
She
depends on.
She's got a lot of doors open for her right now.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Can you mention can you give us the state qualifiers?
Yeah.
As of now.
As of now, with 1 week to go, we've got district left. Jonah Moyers qualified in the high jump at 6'2" at the home track meet, which was really impressive. We have on the boys' side, we have Taven Marsh qualified in the triple jump, 43 feet 8 inches, which is really cool. And then I believe that's it right now for the boys. The boys are so close, man. Bobby, oh my gosh, missed it in the open 100 by 0.03 of a second last night. He needs an 11.12. He ran an 11.15. Harper's right behind him. Marsh is running great. Colton's running great. Evan's running great. So the boys should be all right when it comes to district top 2 next week. They'll get to go. So I'm pretty confident we'll be able to send some of those kids. On the girls' side, we have Sophia Trujillo. She's a freshman. She just qualified in the shot put last night, 35.6. Wells, I mean, she's dominant, man. She's won almost every meet this year. She threw 39.8. She's number 2 in the state right now, which is pretty cool. Number 1 in 5A. And then last night, Nora Gallagher, junior, qualified in triple jump. Barely, but she did it. 34.2.5. She needed 34.2. So she qualified by half an inch, but hey, she gets to go to state. She gets a white jersey, so pretty cool.
That's sweet.
It's only 5 kids right now, but we'll pump it up.
And when you get to the state level, you get new gear?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I stole it. I don't know who originally did it, but I love the idea. So the girls compete in blue jerseys, the boys compete in grays. And if you qualify, because they changed those rules, you don't have to match anymore. So if you qualify for state, we have white jerseys.
That's sweet.
And so we have some kids like Taven Marsh qualified week 2. So now he's been wearing a white jersey since the second week. So everybody knows. It's kind of become a little theme, especially in our district. I don't know how it works around the state, but in our district, if you get a different color jersey than the rest of your team, you're going to state. Roswell's cool. They do black because they're red and black. So their regular ones are red, and then the state qualifiers are black. Hobbs is black and white, and then Clovis is purple and white. But so it's pretty cool. You're starting to see, like last night, you saw a lot of white jerseys walking around, kids that have qualified, and you're kind of like, little pep in your step. People know. And then that goes back to that intimidation factor. Yeah. You get a dude who stands on the 100-meter, start line, and he's in a white jersey, and everyone's looking around, and that's the only one. It's like, man, this dude's probably pretty fast.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah, for sure. What is more challenging, getting these high school students or these high school athletes to stretch properly or be on time?
I'm going to give an answer that you're probably not expecting. We've been great. We've had people on time.
Good.
We go after school now, 4:15, so that's been good. And then I think, again, the workouts are shorter, but we're going, like you said, we're going full speed with the sprint. So if you don't stretch and you don't take it seriously, you will get hurt.
Yeah.
And so I think they've kind of realized that, like, man, I do probably have to take this pretty seriously because for the next 25 minutes, I'm going as fast as I possibly can. So if I don't take it seriously, I'm going to be hurting.
Right.
So we've been fortunate enough this year. I say that now, it's probably going to backfire on me, but we've been pretty fortunate this year. Kids have been showing up on time, and we've been pretty healthy.
Good. All right, last question. Sure. This one goes back to your college days. What is one college experience you remember maybe most or most vividly?
I mean, all conference junior year was really neat. That was in the javelin. That was really cool. So got to get up on the podium, and get a medal and all that good stuff. But I really think one of the neatest things was that cat Rudy Winkler, who I competed against in high school, also went to Cornell. So I competed against him in college. So to be able to compete against an Olympian, I don't know if he's the American record holder, but he's been to 3 Olympics. He went to Rio, he went to Tokyo in 2020, and then he went to France this past summer. So to be able to compete against that dude is really neat. And just seeing it, it's like, that's what an Olympian looks like. All right, I kind of get why I'm not going, But so I'd say that's probably the coolest.
Did you get to know him a little bit, or?
Yeah, so he was only a couple high schools away. So just seeing him from, like I said, from high school and then into college again. I'm not his best friend or anything like that, but pretty cordial every time I see him. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Well, I'm not an Olympian, but I want to challenge you to a javelin throw off at some point. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen today. There's an event out on the field, so you're safe. But anyways, we'll see.
It is, dude. I mean, you've got an arm, so I'm really interested to see because
I don't think it's gonna work out. I'm scared that it's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, it's not dangerous. I've only seen one person get killed. But
okay. All right.
It's just technical. That's where people get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because like if I gave you a football, you could throw that thing 60 yards, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Baseball, you could get it
don't
across
know.
the field. You know?
Okay.
But a javelin, because it is so technical and it is a literal spear,
Yeah.
it is a little bit different. So people who have these monster arms don't always throw it far, and they get angry.
Yeah. So when you throw it, I get on the other side and I try to catch it, right? That's the game.
Yeah. But you got to get on the side and kind of grab it out of the air.
Right. It's more
because if you
athletic.
stand in front, you know,
Right. It's a little
could
bit
be bad.
scarier.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That's what I thought it was. Guys, thank you for watching. This podcast brought to you by CNB Bank. Big shout out to our sponsors and a big shout out to Coach Millar.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, and a big good luck to your team
Thanks, man.
going forward. Yeah.
Thank you.